on your exponents, algebraic expressions, and factorization. Looking at question 1.1, we got minus 3f g to the power 0. Hence, remembering that anything raised to the power 0 is 1, your answer would be minus 3f times 1. If you simplify that further, you'll be left with minus 3f. 1.2 got x to the power 3 or raised to the power 5 divided by x to the power 6. Now, raising an exponent to an exponent means we're going to multiply your two exponents. So you got x to the power 3 times 5. 3 times 5 giving us 15. And you would simply divide that by x to the power 6 as was in your question. That would be equal to, because you got the same basis of x, you are doing a division problem, means you must subtract the exponents. So we got x to the power 15 minus 6, and our answer would be x to the power 9. 1.3, you got open brackets 2x cubed all raised to the power 4 times minus 3 open brackets x to the power 5. All of that's divided by x to the power 5 times 2x to the power 7. Now, if you consider the first part, you got 2x cubed all raised to the power 4. That means you're saying 2x cubed times 2x cubed times 2x cubed times 2x cubed. So basically multiplying 2x cubed by itself 4 times. Or you may say 2 to the power 4 times x to the power 3 times 4. Hence, you get your answer of 16x to the power 12. Minus 3 times x to the power 5 gives us minus 3x to the power 5. And looking at our denominator, we got x to the power 5 times 2x to the power 7. Again, we have the same basis. You have an imaginary 1 in front of your x to the power 5. 1 times 2 gives us 2. And x to the power 5 times x to the power 7 means you write your base down and you add your exponents, thus resulting in an exponent of 12. Simplifying your numerator, you got 16 times minus 3 gives you 48. Looking at your variable, you got x to the power 12 times x to the power 5. That gives you x to the power 17. Again, considering that you're going to add the exponents because it's a multiplication problem. That's divided by your 2x to the power 12. So you're looking at minus 48 divided by 2, you're getting negative 24. And x to the power 17 divided by x to the power 12 means you're saying x to the power 17 minus 12. And that's how you get x to the power 5. 1.4. Right, now you need to write the numerical value of each of the following. If you try this on the calculator, you most probably won't get an answer. So for 1.4.1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all raised to the power 0. That one is straightforward, following your rules of exponents. Anything raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Now, if you look at 1.4.2, you got negative 1 raised to a really large number. Again, if you try that on a calculator, you most probably won't get a solution. So you're going to try minus 1. Remember, minus 1 raised to an even number or an even exponent would give you positive 1. Minus 1 raised to a odd exponent would give you negative 1. If you look at our exponent, in this case, it ends in the number 9. 9 being an odd number means our answer is going to be negative 1. 1.5, you got 3 to the power 2018 times 3 minus 3 to the power 2019. Now, if you look at the first part, you got 3 to the power 2018 times 3. Following your rules of exponents, you have the same base. 3 over here has an exponent of 1. So if you say 3 to the power of 2018 plus 1, because it's a multiplication problem, you're going to get 3 to the power 2019. And 3 to the power 2019 would give you, 3 to the power 2019 minus 3 to the power 2019, hence gives you 0. Same as saying 5 minus 5 gives you 0. X minus X gives you 0. That's how you're getting 3 to the power 2019 minus 3 to the power 2019 gives you 0. 1.6, you got 5 to the power X minus 1 is equal to 125. Now, because you have the base of 5 on your left-hand side, you want to write your right-hand side with the base of 5 as well. Therefore, you got 5 to the power X minus 1 is equal to 5 cubed. 5 cubed gives you 125. Now, because your bases are the same, you can equate your exponent. So you could say X minus 1 is equal to 3. And solving that, you're taking your X to the other side, means it's going to become 3 plus 1. And therefore, X is equal to 4. For question 2, you have an algebraic expression. First question, you need to write down the constant term. Now you'd remember, constant term is any term in an expression that does not have a variable attached to it. So in this case, your constant term is minus 8. Don't forget the negative sign in front of the 8. 2.1, want to know how many terms are there? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms there. Question 2.3, what is the coefficient of x squared? So you're going to locate x squared. You have x squared here. Coefficient is the number in front of your variable. So you have negative 4. And don't forget your negative sign once again. Question 2.4, write down the degree of the expression with respect to x. So the degree of the expression would be the highest exponent. In this case, the highest exponent or the biggest exponent is 3. Therefore, the degree of the expression is third degree. Question 2.5. Now, you need to simplify these. You would, in the first one, you would use the distributive law, because if you look inside the brackets, you can't simplify the brackets further because there's no like terms. Using the distributive law, you're going to say 2 times m, you got 2m. 2 times minus 1 gives you minus 2. 3 times m, you got 3m. And 3 times 4 gives you positive 12. After that step, you're going to check if there's any like terms. So you're looking at 2m. A like term to 2m would be 3m. That's resulting in 2m plus 3m giving you 5m. Going back up, you got minus 2, and your like term to that is 12. So you got 12 minus 2 or minus 2 plus 12. Your answer is 10. 1 mark for each of that and 1 mark for your working. Question 2.5.2. Now, again, you're going to use the distributive law for the first part. The second part as well, you may consider there's an imaginary 1 in front of the bracket and use a distributive law there as well. So you got minus 5 times a squared gives you minus 5a squared. You got minus 5 times minus a. Minus and a minus gives you positive, and your answer is 5a. Now, apart from considering that there's a 1 in front here, you can say that anytime you have brackets like this and there's a subtraction sign in front, it means whatever is inside the brackets, the sign would change. So you got a positive a, it becomes negative a. You got a negative 4, it will become positive 4. Now, again, you're going to check for your like terms. Now, the only like terms or pair of like terms that you're seeing is the middle part, your 5a minus a. Again, remember, like terms are any terms that have the same variable and it must be raised to the same exponent. So if you're looking at 5a minus a, the same variable a, and they both have the exponent of 1, therefore those are like terms. So you got minus 5a squared, then you got 5a minus a giving you 4a, and 4 from the top is just written again. 2.5.3, you got 2 open brackets b minus 3 all squared. The brackets all squared means you're going to repeat the brackets. So you have 2, open brackets, b minus 3, close brackets, open brackets, b minus 3, close brackets. That you can choose to equate out and distribute this 2 into the brackets, or you may choose to use FOIL method and simplify the brackets first. If you go using my route, you'd be choosing to multiply the 2 out first. Hence, you'll have 2 times b giving you 2b, 2 times minus 3 giving you minus 6. That entire bracket multiplied by b minus 3. Now you would use FOIL method. So you got 2b times b giving you 2b squared. 2b times minus 3 gives you minus 6b. Minus 6 times b gives you minus 6b again. And you got minus 6 times minus 3 giving you a positive 18. Again, you want to look for like terms and simplify. So you got 2b squared, no like terms to that, means you're going to just write it down again. Your like terms are in the middle, minus 6b minus 6b. That gives you minus 12b. And you're going to just write 18 down again because there's no like terms to 18. Question 2.5.4. Now, here you have a fraction multiplied by a fraction. So 2 methods you could use here. So one of them is looking for factors that you may cancel out. So let's look at that one. If you're looking at minus 15x divided by 3y times 2y over 5, you want to look for things in the numerator that have factors in the denominator that you may cancel out with. So if you look at minus 15x, minus 15, you have 3 and 5 in your denominator, which are factors of 15. So you can cancel out there, either one of them or both of them if possible. You got x there in your numerator, but no x in the denominator, means you would still find x in your solution. You got 2y, but 2y being in the numerator, there's no 2y in the denominator, means you can't cancel out the 2, but you have y in the numerator, but y in the denominator, so that you may be able to cancel out. So let's consider this minus 15 first. Now, we said we have factors of 15 in our denominator. So firstly, if we say 15 divided by 3, we'd be left with 5. And then 5 can cancel out with 5. So all you're left with here is negative x. Then you got 2y, and we said the y here can cancel out with the y there, and you'd be left with 2. Hence, you're left with minus x here, and you're left with 2 there. So you got minus x times 2, and that is equal to minus 2x. Now, the other method, you could choose to multiply your numerator by your numerator and your denominator by denominator. So you got minus 15x times 2y. That gives you minus 30xy. You got 3y times 5. That's giving you 15y. You look at your numbers. You got minus 30 divided by 15. You get negative 2. Excuse me. You got y divided by y. That will cancel out. You're left with x. So you got minus 2x. Now, preferably you would choose this one, since this one might be a little complicated. But remember, if you forget your calculator, this might be tricky for you if you're given big numbers. Hence, it'll be easier for you to choose this method. And therefore, I'd suggest you learn both of them. Question 2.6, the substitution problem. You need to determine the numerical value of the expression given here. They're telling you A is equal to 3 and B is equal to negative 4. Hence, wherever you see A, you're going to substitute 3. Wherever you see B, you're going to substitute negative 4. Remember to always use brackets. So you got open brackets 3 all squared plus 3 open brackets minus 4 close brackets, and you're subtracting 3. Putting all of that in the calculator, you'd get minus 6. Last question. Now, 3.1, you had to simply determine the highest common factor. You got 32x, 24xy, and 36xz. Looking at the numbers, we're going to find that 4 is the highest common factor. Then considering the variables, you got x occurring in each of the 3 terms. So you can pull out x as a factor. Y only occurs on the 2nd term and Z only occurs on the 3rd term. So that cannot be considered common factors. So your highest common factor there would be 4x. Question 3.2 is where you're actually going to factorize. So you're going to look at both your terms and pull out a highest common factor first. You got minus 3x squared minus 18xy. So minus 3, you can also find minus 3 as a fact to be a factor of 18. Hence, you'll pull minus 3 out as your highest common factor. Then look at your variables. You got x occurring in both terms. So your highest common factor is minus 3x. Open brackets. Looking at minus 3x squared divided by minus 3x, you're left with x. Because you pulled out a subtraction sign in your highest common factor, so you're saying minus 18xy divided by negative 3x. Minus divided by minus means your resulting answer is positive. You got 18 divided by 3 is 6, and x divided by x cancels out. You're left with 6y. Question 3.2.2. Got 5ab squared minus 40a squared b plus 10ab. So you're noticing that the ab is occurring in each of the terms. Looking at 5, your highest common factor is 5 because it goes into 5 one time, goes into 48 times, and goes into 10 two times. So you pulled out 5ab as your highest common factor. Open brackets, you're going to take 5ab squared, divide that by 5ab, you're left with b. Subtract. Next, you're going to put your subtraction sign because you pulled out a positive highest common factor and your second term is negative. So you got negative 40a squared b divided by 5ab. Your b's would cancel out. You have a squared divided by a means your resulting answer will have 1a. You got minus 40 divided by 5, so you got 8. So minus 40a squared b divided by 5ab, you have negative 8a. Last term there, you got positive 10ab divided by 5ab. So 10 divided by 5, you're left with 2. Your a and your b cancel out, and that's all that you're going to have there, and you're going to close the brackets. Thank you.